Minnesota Vikings added some more meat to the defensive line sandwich this week, adding former San Francisco 49ers defensive tackle Jullian Taylor. Now, adofo-mensah was in San Francisco when the Niners drafted Taylor in 2018, so reunited, and it feels so good. Let's talk about Taylor today. Background, 27 years young, 6'5", and weight-wise, so I've seen 280, I've seen 294 at the combine, I've seen 305 on his Wikipedia page. So I don't know. It's like all of us during COVID, we vacillate like 20 pounds. I don't know. On tape, he looks, I don't know, 285-ish to me. Whatever. He was a 2018 7th-round pick out of Temple, and he was a little bit of a combine freak for a defensive tackle, man. 4'9", 440, explosive in the jumps, great three-cone as well, so great agility. Fell to the 7th, was scooped up by the aforementioned Niners. Like we said, Kwesi was in the front office with John Lynch and company in San Francisco. Became a rotational defensive lineman, played mainly 3-tech as well as a little bit of pass-rushing nose tackle, very similar to James Lynch's role last season. Played in 12 games over 2 years. Tore his ACL, unfortunately, late in 2019. Hasn't played a regular season NFL snap since. Was on the PUP and then was waived by the Niners in 2020. And then was signed by the Titans last offseason and then waived before training camp even got going. And if you look at the Vikings defensive line depth, yeesh, where you have a lot of players who could play multiple spots, which is fantastic since the Vikings are going to play a multiple front. They're going to have 4 men down. They're going to have 3 men down. Sometimes there'll be 2. I don't know, but they're going to get after it. And I do like Jullian Taylor because given his size as well as given his athletic ability, you can slide him all along. You can have him as a pass-rushing nose tackle. You can have him at 3-tech when the Vikings play 4 or defensive lineman. You can put him at 5-tech when the Vikings have 3 defensive linemen down. So I think that it is a fantastic, zero risk, because contract details aren't out. But I'm sure it's a 1-year league minimum, nothing guaranteed, probably no sign-in bonus either. So it's an absolutely zero risk spot where maybe his ACL is good to go. That's the big question. He hasn't played a down since 2019. And if he's ready to rock and roll, you have this physical freak who has already passed through a hoop of, hey, talent evaluator in San Francisco, liked him, brought him in. And if he can really sync up in Chris Rumph as well as Ed Donatell's defense, I mean, yeah, you do need these guys on the roster because you have a 90-man roster, and if Taylor somehow, some way makes the practice squad, maybe even gets into rotation, he's going to have to supplant somebody. But it is a good feel-good story where you have this guy who was really starting to come into his own with the Niners, physical freak, and hopefully that ACL is good to go, and maybe he can be a little something along the Vikings defensive line. And you would love to see it, especially if they get after that ass. I'm really fired up, man. Like, the defense has been ass, thank you, for the last 2 years. But I think Donatell, as well as if Za'Darius is healthy and Daniil is healthy, I think they really can get something going. And Jullian Taylor could be a part of that as well. So your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings signed defensive lineman Jullian Taylor. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.